halfway. Stop driving a friggin' car. 4 times you get a break. They reduce it to no ops. You don't pay the fine. You drive again. They reduce it to no ops. You don't pay the fine. So you don't care. 241896 is a driving suspended charge that is alleged to have occurred on October 20th of 2024. Prosecutor has offered to reduce that to a charge of allowing another to violate the motor vehicle code. You're also set for sentencing on a previous driving suspended, which is 241136. Somehow it was in front of Judge Pattison, and then it got set in front of me.
It was because the ticket, I believe, had the wrong time on it. So when I got here, court was already over, but Pattison was available.
I don't mind. I got both of these. But one of the issues, Judge Pattison, I just discussed this yesterday, is you got a bunch of fines that you didn't pay. Now, there's a presumption. It's in the court rule and the statute that says in a non-serious misdemeanor, there's a presumption that the judge won't order a jail sentence. Even probation, supposed to order fine or community service. It's relatively new, and old judges like me and others still have to wrap our head around the fact there's a presumption we're not going to put you in jail because that's what the legislature wants. But when we keep giving you fines and you don't pay the fines, that's not very effective.
The defendant indicates she made a payment, I guess, the last time she was here, but
well, she called. She got a no ops, and she got a driving suspended in May of 2024. My secretary normally gives me a cheat sheet, but she's been off. And I had this down at one time, and that was reduced to no valid ops. And that was a time payment, and she was supposed to pay $350. She called in November and said she's going to pay the whole thing. She paid $50 on November 19th, and I guess no payments since.
I think it's a bi-weekly payment plan, so I would be due for a payment.
And then there's another one for. She had another driving suspended in September. That's 241675. And again, they gave her a no valid operator's license. And I guess maybe she made a $50 payment. So May, September, then June, she had another driving suspended. She missed several days. Judge Pattison issued a bond for her. Set for sentencing, but I don't know that you actually entered a plea. Pled guilty in July. So you drove in May, you drove in June, you drove in July, drove in September. So that one is set for sentencing. Now you drove again in October. So you don't care. And so then I give you a bunch of fines and you pay $50 a month every other week, which will take 5 years to get all this paid off. How'd you get here today?
I got a ride. You can check the camera. And the reason I didn't pay off the $350 is because I have proof of it. I paid $1,200 to get everything lifted from my license that was keeping it suspended. So now I went up there last week to get my license back, and I didn't take my marriage license to show my name change. But they said that I am eligible to get it back. It's not showing suspended anymore. It shows canceled.
Okay. This one, the one you're pleading to allowing another to violate the motor vehicle code, won't carry a suspension.
Correct.
You got 2 no ops and another driving suspended. As soon as I sentence you on the other driving suspended, you won't be able to get your license.
I understand that now, yeah.
So I'm going to kick this can down the road and see if you can get the license and see if the prosecutor will do something. But meet me halfway. Stop driving a friggin' car. 4 times. You get a break. They reduce it to no ops. You don't pay the fine. You drive again. They reduce it to no ops. You don't pay the fine. They finally hold the line at driving suspended. You don't show up for sentencing twice. Then you drive again in October, and they gave you a sweet deal with allowing another to violate the motor vehicle code. And I'll take you at your word. You had to pay a big chunk of money to even be eligible to get your license back. So let's talk about this. Do you understand? You heard me go through the advice of rights. And do you understand that if you plead to this charge of allowing another to violate the motor vehicle code, there won't be a trial. Now, that charge carries no points, doesn't go on your driving record, and won't affect your ability to keep or maintain your driver's license if you can otherwise get it. So if you can get a driver's license, by that time, it will be Miss Davis will be the prosecutor. And there may be some other assistants taking office after the first of the year. I'm not exactly sure how all that's going to stack up. But what Mr. Gibson can then do is go to the prosecutor's office and say, look, she got her license back. What can we do with these other charges? But once I sentence you on that driving suspended, you're sunk to the bottom.
I plan on going to get it today, actually. I just have to get my marriage license while I'm here.
You got married here in St. Joe County. All right. Are you going to plead to that charge of allowing another to violate the motor vehicle code? Now, you also heard what I said about the young man this week that got charged with a 15-year felony. He also had no insurance because we don't have a license. You can't get an insurance. So his insurance, so it's terrible. The closer you look at it, the worse it gets. Where were you going on this day?
Was it the 3 o'clock in the morning one?
Let's take a look.
It looks like the offense that was on 10/20, it looked like was at 3:07 a.m.
All right. Well, let's take a look. October 20th was a Sunday night. I'm sure I was fast asleep at 2:26 a.m. US 131 and Michigan Avenue. Yeah, where were you going?
Well, I think it was on West Chicago Road.
All right, well, let me see. Which one am I looking at? 1896. That one was that was the June one. It's hard to keep them all straight.
Sorry.
That was at West, you get all over the place. West Chicago Road and St. Joseph Street in White Pigeon at 3:07 a.m. Where were you going?
Okay. I still am going through a bad breakup, and it was not a wise decision for me to leave that night, to say the least. And yeah,
Well, do you remember where you were going?
Yeah.
Where?
Home. I was going home.
All right, from somewhere else back to White Pigeon?
Yes. Back to Constantine.
All right, well, I show your address as Prospect Street. Is that correct?
Constantine.
All right, you stay up a lot later than I do. I'm going to set this for sentencing for January 13th. 26 at 10:30 a.m. Does that work for you, Mr. Gibson?
I think it does.
I'm going to continue the sentence in the other case.
25.
Did you mean 2025?
Yes, I did. Usually I'm a year behind. Continue sentence for January, both of these. And we'll see whether you come in with your license, and then Mr. Gibson can go try to twist somebody's arm in the new prosecutor's office. But that leaves 5 cases And theoretically, you would owe a fine, the state minimum fees, and the attorney fees. So it'd be like $350 a case. I have some discretion with the fines, times 4 cases, which is like $1,500 at $50 every 2 weeks. Takes a long time. So are you working someplace?
I that's my next thing on the list was to get out my license back and everything, and then now I have to get a job. I already bought the car, I already put insurance on it, did all that.
All right, just don't drive it.
I'm not.
I mentioned this multiple times. There's a judge over on the other side of the state, Judge Meineke, that has a very structured program to help people get their license back. Ours is less structured, but when people are working to get their license back, we're willing to work with them. But at some point, they're going to care anymore. You got 4 driving suspendeds in about 4 months. So there's another alternative where you could be a trustee at the jail and stay long enough, maybe you could mow grass or something. So stop driving.
Is that program the road to restoration? It's like, is that what it's called?
Yes.
That I was scheduled to start that program already on my own.
With Judge Meineke?
I don't know. I don't know who it's with, but it's called the Road to Restoration, and it was up by Detroit at one point.
Did you get a ticket up there?
No, it was you can sign up for it online, like on your own.
I'll take a look at it. All right, I will see you January 13th. I'm going to give you a notice right now.
This is one of those courtroom moments where the frustration isn't loud, but it's unmistakable. The judge isn't shouting. He isn't threatening. But what you're hearing is the sound of patience wearing thin after giving the same defendant chance after chance. The pattern is laid out carefully and clearly. May, June, July, September, October, 5. Separate incidents of driving while suspended, all within a matter of months. And each time, the court bends. Charges get reduced. Driving suspended becomes no valid operator's license. Payment plans are offered. Jail is avoided. The system does exactly what it's designed to do under modern law: favor fines and compliance over incarceration. But there's one problem. Fines only work if people actually pay them. And here, they didn't. Instead, the court sees missed payments, missed sentencing dates, and yet another traffic stop, this one at 3 in the morning. That's when the judge finally says, "What's been building the entire hearing, so you don't care?" Not as an insult, but as disbelief. Because from the court's perspective, confusion isn't the issue anymore. Paperwork isn't the issue. This is behavior. What makes this moment especially important is that the judge openly acknowledges the limits of the law. Legislators don't want people jailed for non-serious misdemeanors anymore. Judges are supposed to use fines, time, and compliance instead. But when none of that changes anything, the court loses leverage in. That's where things start to get dangerous. The defendant explains herself. She says she paid a large amount to clear her license issues. She says she's now eligible to get it back. She talks about a bad breakup, a bad decision, driving late at night. And here's the key part: the judge listens. He doesn't dismiss her. He doesn't cut her off. Instead, he does something rare. He offers one last procedural lifeline. By continuing sentencing, the judge is essentially saying, "Fix this now, because once I sentence you on that driving suspended charge, it's over." License eligibility disappears. Prosecutors lose flexibility. The consequences become automatic, not discretionary. And the judge makes something else crystal clear for anyone watching. Driving while suspended is not a small offense. It snowballs fast. No license means no insurance. No insurance means felony exposure if something goes wrong. One bad night can turn into years of damage. This hearing isn't about punishment anymore. It's about intervention. The message is simple and direct. Stop driving. Get legal. Get stable. Because the system has almost run out of mercy. And next time, there won't be another reduction, another delay, or another warning disguised as patience. This wasn't a sentence. It was the last warning.